We have a problem, a very big problem facing us.
What is the problem?
We do not have enough money for our expenses few months from now.
That is easy. I will find a job to help with our expenses.
The problem with you finding a job is you might end up working for abusive employers.
Then I will look for a non-abusive employer.
Another problem is you might end up working far from home.
Then I will look for a company that is near our place.
Another problem is you might get paid unfairly.
Hi.
Ligaya was disappointed because her brother Pedro was so difficult. He occupied himself stating the problem and not the solution. Pedro is a difficult person. Sad, but reality is we encounter difficult people almost every day in our lives. We meet them at the malls, restaurants, work, at school, or even at home. Since we meet them almost every day, it is very important for us to know how to handle these people. If we don't, they can ruin our day. Worse, we can make their days from bad to worse. Most importantly, we need to learn how to handle difficult people because of health reasons. Improper way of handling difficult people may result in heart attack and misbehaved blood pressure. Allow us to show you techniques in handling difficult people. First thing we need to do is to understand difficult people. We have to remember difficult people are not bad or evil people. These are just people who are angry, frustrated, desperate, insecure, and sometimes bashful. In fact, we can all be difficult people sometimes. Let us discuss the four most common types of difficult persons. The first type is the downers. Downers are people who are negativists. These people complain so much, they can drain the energy from people around them. It is common for these people to begin with their sentences with the phrase, "The problem is." This is because they always see a problem for every solution. The next type is called uppers. These are people who always need to be better than the others in all, if not most areas. If you can sing well, they will say they can sing better. If you say you went to Baguio City, they will say they've been to Singapore. They always have to be better than the other. Uppers are show-offs because they do not have enough self-confidence in them. They have to lift themselves up. The third type is called grenades. These people have the tendency to be explosive. They are control freaks. They always want to be in control. These people can be very emotional in the wrong way. And the fourth type is called passive. Passive are shy people. They do not speak much. They think their opinion is not important, so they seldom give their opinions. When you ask them a question, they give only a one-word answer. They do not explain themselves. These people have very low self-confidence. Now that we have a better understanding of difficult people, let's talk about how to handle them properly. Number 1. When we are faced with any type of these four difficult people, it is important for us to smile and hold our tongues. Smiling may tone down the emotion of the other person, while our silence will allow us to gather our thoughts before we speak our first words. Our silence may also keep the difficult person guessing and guessing what is in our mind. You may also want to breathe first before you speak. Breathing will allow you to be more focused. Number 2, the next tip is to practice listening. Nothing can be more satisfying than being heard, most especially to difficult people. Give them the chance to be heard. You can do this by asking questions like, why do you feel that way? What do you really want? But when you ask questions, make sure that you're genuinely interested. When you ask these questions, you'll find out that more often than not, difficult people have their reasons for being difficult. Sometimes, you'll find out that they are simply wrong. Another tip in listening is to nod when you agree. Nodding is a sign that you agree with the other person. Difficult people may find comfort in people who agree or understand them. You may also want to paraphrase while listening. Paraphrasing is repeating the thoughts of the other person in a different form. Number 3. Another technique in handling difficult people is to use pacifying words. Sometimes this is called phrasing. Pacifying words are used to calm down the other person. Examples are, I understand where you're coming from. That's interesting. Tell me more about it. That is possible. Why did you arrive at that? Number 4. Another technique in handling difficult people is to avoid exacerbating or adding fuel to the fire. When you add fuel to the fire, you're only making the situation worse. You are justifying the anger of the difficult person with the other. And lastly, or number 5, which is probably the most important technique in handling difficult people, is to avoid them. You can do this by politely saying, I need to be somewhere else. I'll talk to you later. Because reality is, there are very few people who are capable and trained to handle difficult people. Difficult people, just like us, do not need our judgment. They need our understanding, and in some cases, they need our absence. Leave them alone.
We have a problem, a very big problem facing us.
What is the problem?
We do not have enough money for our expenses a few months from now.
What do you have in mind?
It will help if we can find a job.
Sure, I will begin to apply tomorrow.
Thank you, Ligaya.
You're always welcome, Pedro.